Episode 06 of 1001 Stories of Style. The Shape of My Choice. Zaynab stood before the mirror in a dress she could not quite claim, unsure whether she had chosen it for herself or for the version of her life she was trying to project. Tim sat still behind her in the dressing room, watching without a word. His silence during her repeated outfit changes felt less like patience and more like absence in motion, as she moved between clothing racks, searching for something that felt certain. What began as a fitting room moment grew into emotional tension between external validation and self-definition. Zainab became increasingly sensitive to Tim's minimal responses, reading meaning into his quietness, while also becoming more dependent on his feedback than she wanted to admit. When he simply said an outfit looked good, it did not satisfy her need for clever reassurance. Later, after choosing an outfit, she wore it out only to encounter indirect criticism that suggested she had been poorly dressed. She internalized the remark, interpreting it as proof that her judgment was unreliable, which intensified her frustration, embarrassment, and self doubt. Tim eventually responded more directly, encouraging her to choose based on how she felt rather than what she assumed others expected. He also admitted he preferred another dress she had tried, but reminded her that the final decision had been hers. Zainab initially resisted this perspective, continuing to search through clothing and revisiting her choices repeatedly, as though certainty could be achieved through comparison. Over time, however, his words lingered and began to interrupt her reliance on external approval, helping her question why outside opinions carried so much weight. Zainab eventually recognized that validation did not need to come from others to be meaningful. She acknowledged that she had liked her outfit and had chosen it intentionally to explore a different look from her usual style, even if others disagreed. Recentering her focus on how she felt internally rather than how she was perceived externally, she settled into a quieter and more stable confidence. In that realization, she no longer treated outside opinions as final authority over her self-perception, but as noise she could choose to acknowledge or release. Enjoy the full episode of The Shape of My Choice at 1001storiesofstyle.wordpress.com.